All right, we've been talking about it all week. It is time to get ready to spring forward. Daylight saving time starts Sunday morning. We wrap up our sleep week with Dr. Rebecca Robillard. She is a sleep researcher at the Royal Ottawa. We're discussing how the loss of this hour will actually impact you this weekend. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
First and foremost, we have to say you gave the best advice right when you walked in here. How do you really offset it? And you said, coming on the morning show.
I would say this is not my usual wake-up hour, but yeah, I'll be better prepared for the new time.
Oh, I love that. Well, any way that we can help out you, I think, is a good thing. I really would love to start our conversation with talking about the mental side with the clocks going forward this weekend, because it does have a big impact mentally.
Yeah, for sure. So sleep is so critical for many regions in the brain that help us regulate our emotions, cope with stress, and even think rationally. So when we lose sleep, of course, these brain centers don't function optimally. But time change is not just about losing sleep. It also creates a mismatch between our internal clock and the natural cycle of the sun. And that internal clock tends to run on a cycle that's slightly longer than 24 hours. So it's really the morning light that helps us constantly readjust our internal rhythm so that we can run on something closer to 2400 minutes. And so that's critically important for all of our functions to work properly. And we know that when our biological clock is out of sync, we just don't feel right. And that's why we see after time change increases in anxiety, depression, problematic substance use, and even suicides.
And you can really feel it too, like when you have a bad night of sleep or two, you don't feel yourself, maybe a little bit more agitated, or some things start to come up. For people specifically already with some sleep disorders, how does this affect their particular situation?
Yeah, that's such an important question, because some people say, oh, it doesn't affect me, too much, but it's really at the population level. So we know now that several portions of the population are more affected. So people with sleep disorders are part of the group, like people with insomnia, for example, but also children and teenagers who have a clock that runs naturally later. Seniors are also more affected. People with chronic diseases are also affected, because we know that time change, because it affects that biological clock that influences so many functions across the body. We're talking about, heart rate, insulin, hormone release. And so we see after time change also a peak in heart attacks and strokes, in problems even with pregnancy. So really it can complicate, things from a medical and physical health perspective for a lot of people who are at risk.
And that comes to my final point when you hear about this, because it can have severe impacts on your life. What are some tips that you'd give to people to help them out with these clocks moving forward this weekend if they're having some trouble?
Yeah, so it's getting closer. We don't have a ton of time to put things in practice, but we can still do a gradual shift. So going to bed 30 minutes earlier already tonight and getting up earlier tomorrow morning as well, so that we do a more gradual shift. We know that shifting your meal times, your exercise schedule can also help, because that whole strengthens the signal of the biological clock. We know that light is critically important. So again, like lots of morning light, get outside, get some sunshine. And if you have a sleep disorder, well, why not treat it as well? And right now at the Royal, we're offering free insomnia treatment. So people can get in touch with us at our website, researchsleep.ca, and sign up for insomnia studies.
That is an amazing thing for people to be aware of, because so many people are struggling with their sleep. And I love that, because you can start tonight to make sure that your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week are better. Rebecca, especially ahead of daylight saving time on Sunday, we really appreciate you coming in and sharing this knowledge with us today.
Thank you.